So exciting. It's ringing. Ring, 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 ring. Hi, is this Molly?
This is.
Hi, Molly. This is Clint Novak on In the Loop. You are live on the show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. We got the legend, and we got Drew the intern here, and we were calling to talk about your new ride that you guys are building.
Well, it is going up slowly but surely, and we got a little freak snow last night. It was 81 on Saturday, and now it's in the 30s, so people are working as hard as they can.
Oh, no.
That's what happens when you're in the Midwest up there.
Yeah,
so.
only in Iowa would it be a 50-degree swing in 24 hours, but we've been working through the polar vortex, so I think we can probably make it through this.
All right. Well, tell us about where you guys are with the construction of the new ride.
Well, we're slated to open it on June 1st, and that's kind of what we're putting out, just June right now, because we don't have a definite date depending on how quickly everything goes up. We've got 3 of the big sections up right now, so currently it stands, about 90 feet tall right now. We're taking it all the way to the top. So we've got the 3 sections up right now to the 7. And it's going to be eventually about 260, 270 feet tall. And it's going to be quite a thrill ride. We've got all the underground stuff we did as early as we could in the spring, or in the fall, and then we just had to wait for the pieces to be shipped over from Holland. And they come over by boat and then from a truck from a port in Virginia. So they've been sending to it piece by piece, and I think everything as of today just arrived. So we've got all the pieces here, and now it's just assembly.
All right. So now, for those who have been following along, it was kind of a question at the beginning whether or not you guys were buying the used Knott's Berry Farm Windseeker, or if you guys were getting your own. You guys got your own because it obviously came from Holland. So
right, we got our own, and it was kind of an interesting prospect. It's not typically a ride that our park necessarily would put in. It's a big investment for a single ride, but we had an old rotor ride called the Silly Silo, one of those ones that spins you around and sticks you to the wall.
Okay.
And it'd been in the park for about 40 years, and it finally gave up. It broke to where we couldn't fix it, but it gave us all 40 years of faithful service. But it was such a small footprint for a ride. To try and replace it, we couldn't really build out, so we had to go up, and this was a ride that fit just perfectly and kind of where we needed it to go. So we kind of fell into it, but we're really excited about it.
That is pretty cool. Now, before we continue on with Storm Chaser, why don't we talk a little bit about Adventureland? Now, I don't think, Drew, you haven't been to Adventureland, correct?
I have not. The closest I came was 3 hours away from it, and my ex-girlfriend said she would not drive 3 hours out of her way overnight to go to Adventureland.
Wow.
Well, I see why she's your ex-girlfriend now.
Yeah, priorities.
That's exactly why she's my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, how close am I to... I've never been this close to Iowa in my life, and she wouldn't let me go.
Now, I can trump you. I have actually passed Adventureland. But it was on my way back from Cedar Point. I used to live in Mankato, Minnesota, and we decided to take the I guess the turnpike, not the turnpike at that point, but just the freeway all the way through to Iowa, and then pretty much right where Adventureland is, that's where you turn and then start going north to get to Mankato. And I passed it, but it was we didn't stop and get a chance to enjoy it. And
how many years ago was that?
That was many years ago. That was probably 2011.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, you missed out.
Yeah,
you missed out. No, it's a great park. It's actually my family's business. My father started the park in the 70s, and he's kind of the mastermind behind what started out as a really kind of small little local park and is now a pretty big regional park. The park itself is about 100 acres, but we're about 200 acres with the park. We have a hotel and a campground as well. And we're actually one of the few independently owned, family-owned parks left in the United States. I think it might be us, Holiday World, and I think there might be one or two other ones kind of on the East Coast, more boardwalk type parks, but we've grown up here and worked here our whole lives, so we really love it. And it's a heck of a fun way to spend your summers. Beats road work. selling shoes.
Because I guess that's all there is to do in Iowa. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much construction season, right? No, Iowa's a great place, and it's a lot of fun to have something like Adventureland in kind of a smaller area. We don't draw from as far as like a Cedar Point or something like that. We kind of say the state and then the kind of the closer surrounding halves of the surrounding states. But it's a great park, and it's nice and big, so it doesn't really get overly busy. You don't end up, people always ask if we have like the fast pass systems and stuff like that, but typically unless it's, a few, really, really busy Saturdays a year, you don't really need it. So you've got a nice open space where you don't feel like you're packed in, and you've got great Iowa summer hot weather, except for today, from June until September, and really get all the experiences and rides of a bigger park without the hassles and the crowds and the elevated prices.
Yeah, I mean, when I lived in Minnesota, we had very little options when it came to amusement parks. We had Valley Fair and the Mall of America right there in the Twin Cities, and then the next parks were 7 hours away. Pretty much exactly 7 hours was Adventureland or Chicago. So it was, we didn't have a lot. That's why I never moved back to Minnesota. Actually, I'm still on the East Coast now because I have amusement parks out here. So
yeah, you have lots of options.
Yeah. So for people who have never been to Adventureland, like all of us and people listening, what is some of your signature things? What are the things that are going to drag you in?
Well, the things that we have that I think will drag you in is we have 3 roller coasters. We've got a steel upside down coaster called the Dragon and 2 woodens, the Tornado and the Outlaw. And then we have a host of other flat rides, like a lot of the parks do. But we also, in the last maybe 5 years, have built just a huge water park. And it's all included in your admission, and it's really neat. We've got a big wave pool, the lazy river that's about half a mile long. We've got a swim-up bar where you can sit in the pool and have drinks and take drinks around.
You had us at swim-up bar.
We have a swim-up bar.
Are they cheap drinks or are they expensive drinks?
Well, it runs the whole gamut. We've got all the way across, but I think we're pretty reasonable. That's the one thing that's nice. You come to a park in the Midwest and you'd be surprised how inexpensive things seem, even though it's an amusement park. And I know the industry in general is thought to have extremely high prices, but because we're in Iowa, we have to understand that our guests are Iowans. They're Midwestern people, and they won't pay those kinds of crazy prices. So we've worked pretty hard to keep everything pretty reasonable, but they're good drinks, so that's for sure.
Well, that's good. I mean, I know me and Drew down here, we're used to the $8 Epcot beers and $14 margaritas. So
no, you won't find that here. You would you'd go get good bang for your buck here.
All right.
Yeah, it's your water park has a lot of really good slides in there. You got the Tornado and a racer slide and all sorts of great stuff.
Yeah, we decided if we were going to dip our toes into that water, so to speak, we were going to, do it big or go home kind of thing. So there really weren't any big water parks, real close to us. But with the infrastructure we already had and we had the space, we started with one little kids kind of, we call it Kokomo Cove. It's just a little kind of splash thing, and people loved it so much. The next year we just went all out and went crazy. So we built the whole thing in over about 3 summers, and just kept adding and adding and adding. And finally we decided, gosh, we better get back into the regular park. We're not going to have anything to do on the cold days. So.
Now, Molly, one thing that's always intrigued me about Adventureland is this underground ride. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it seems very unique.
It's a roller coaster type car. It's not really a roller coaster ride. It's not anything real extreme, but it's real funny. We used to have, way back when on that spot, they had water shows. So there was a pool, and it was like an amphitheater. And they had high dive shows way back in the 70s. They had a dolphin show, all sorts of little things like that. And then those kind of things kind of fell out of favor. No one really was interested in that. They hosted a game show there on a local TV station for a couple of summers. And finally, once that show themey kind of thing went out of favor, they enclosed the whole area and built this underground ride. And it's kind of one of those funny rides where it's themed up like you're going into an old mine shaft. But it's a dark ride, and it's a fun ride, and it's kind of a lot of younger kids' first it's a roller coaster because it goes up and down on a track with a car, but it's not an extreme like an actual big roller coaster. So it's a fun ride.
Sounds pretty sweet to us. I have a question for you, and I know my professors in college always tell me, don't believe what you read on Wikipedia. But according to your page's Wikipedia, the Disney company assisted you guys with your early park plannings. Is that true?
My father went to Disneyland, and our front Main Street area is actually patterned off of the entrance area at Disney in the 70s. I don't know that it still looks like that now. So, yes, it actually is true.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. There was nothing when my father decided to build this. Obviously, it wasn't as big as it is now, but there was nothing like it, and it was a cornfield. I mean, where we are now was just a big cornfield and an airstrip. So it was one of those things where I'm not sure anyone thought he would actually do it, but he did. So here it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting. When I'm kind of looking at the park map here, now that you bring it up, I probably wouldn't have noticed it right away, but when you say it has that like Disney-esque feel, you're right. You got the train station. You go underneath the tracks to go into the Main Street area there. It does seem a lot like Disney. All right. Legend, do you have any questions?
No, I think that kind of wraps it up for me. Just, I guess one more question I would have is, what would be your recommendations for somebody that's never been to Adventureland coming for the first time?
Well, I would suggest giving yourself a full day, at least. If you're going to be staying overnight, you certainly could do 2 days. We have second-day tickets. Bring your swimsuit because the water park is can't miss. Busiest days are usually Saturdays, so if you can come on a weekday, you're going to have the run of the place. So, like I said, the park is oversized for our population. And so you really aren't going to run into heavy crowds or anything like that. So you should, if you come on any day but a Saturday, you should have a great experience where you have the place kind of to yourself and do whatever you want. But I think you definitely can't miss the new ride, so I'd wait until at least June 1st.
All right, that takes care of all the questions me and Drew had down here. Clint, you got anything else?
Well, I want to talk just a little bit about the food at the park there. Now, obviously, when you talk like mom and pop amusement parks, usually they have way better food than the big boys. Do you guys have any food that you guys have that's kind of one of those standout dishes type things for your park?
We make, and I kid you not, the best fried chicken you have ever had.
Ah.
And we always have. And I told that to more people that didn't believe me until they had it. And it is absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know who came up with the recipe to begin with, but it is one of those things that people come back for year after year after year. I've had people come, buy a ticket to the park to get chicken, and then leave.
Wow.
We have season pass holders who come in for dinner, basically.
That's awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about ticket prices and all that stuff. How much is it to get in 2014?
We didn't actually raise our prices this year. Tickets are $40 for ages 10 and older. Kids 4 to 9 are $35. Children 3 and under are free. Our season passes, we always sell them at a discount over Christmas. So if you bought them, over the holidays for this upcoming year, you got them for $105. So if you do the math, it's only a couple of trips to make it worth your while. And we have sold more season passes each year since we started them about 10 years ago. We really thought it'd be kind of like a babysitter thing where people would drop their kids off and leave. But I'll tell you what, we have more families that come. Mom brings them one time, Dad brings them another time, or Dad catches up after work, or whatever. And it's really a nice thing.
All right, so I guess we just have to look forward now to June 1st and the topping off and all that good stuff of Storm Chaser coming up in the next, I hope, couple of weeks here for you.
Yeah, we actually the park opens for weekends on April 26th, last weekend in April, and then we do weekends until the 17th of May when schools around here start getting out, and then we're full-time June, July, and August, and then go back to weekends in September. So it's a short season, but it's a running season, and once you get in there, you just go until the end of the year. So hopefully we'll have a great year, and the weather will be nice and warm, and everyone can come out and ride the new ride.
Now, I do have one more question here about the new ride. other parks that have added similar style rides, they've had like giant LED packages or music on board. Is that something Storm Chaser is going to feature?
Yes, it will. Both. We have music and we have the LED package. I'm really excited to see that. I've never seen it in person yet since the ride's not up, and I haven't actually seen. I didn't get to go to a park to see the actual ride in motion yet, but it sounds like it is just phenomenal at night with the lights. The big LED lights underneath, showing up on the ground. I figured it'd be like our own personal kaleidoscope.
It's actually dead on. Now, any idea what kind of music you're going to play on the Storm Chaser?
I haven't heard yet. I've been talking to our audio guy, and he was, working on rigging up all the, music so that it's on the ground and with the riders, so that you don't have it just, if it was just on the main ride, you wouldn't hear it after it got up high enough. But no, I don't know yet. Maybe we'll have to ride it once or twice and see.
Well, we do have a Coaster Crew theme song if you are interested.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow, I never would have thought of that, Drew.
I'm always trying to market our brand.
Yeah. And if you guys ever need any voice work done, voice spiels or stuff, we'd be happy to fill in for that.
You guys are all about that. Well, I'll tell you what,
yeah.
The guy who's done our commercials has done it for so long. Since we opened, in fact, in the 70s, we've had the same voice. His name's Frosty Mitchell, and he was actually one of the original stockholders of Adventureland, but he did all the girls state basketball announcing here back in the 70s and 80s, and we just love him. But if he ever retires, I will keep y'all in mind.
No better way to get us to come to Adventureland than to have us voice something like one of the ride spiels or something, and then we'd be like,
record a commercial for me.
Yeah, and then we would have to take not a commercial, because then we could just watch it on YouTube. But if you made us do something in the park, then we would be like, oh, we have to bring all of our friends to listen to our voice at Adventureland in Iowa. So we'd pile everybody to
voice of the Kitty Ferris wheel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kitty Ferris wheel. At this time, please secure all loot, that kind of thing. It'd be great.
There you go.
It'd be great. Well, Molly, we really appreciate you stopping by and chatting to us about Adventureland and Storm Chaser. You guys really will have a great ride with that. It is one of my favorite rides at the Cedar Fair parks right now. Anytime I go to my local Kings Dominion, which is my home park, we have a Windseeker there. And it's usually, if I only do one ride, if I'm running around just taking pictures, the one ride I'll do is Windseeker. I'll jump on it real quick and get my ride on it. So.
Well, that's a great plug for the new ride. Thank you very much.
All right. Molly, thank you very much for stopping by, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. That is Molly from Adventureland in Iowa.